Time now to spotlight FIGR, the stablecoin issuer making its debut on the public markets today over at NASDAQ. We are still waiting for the first shares to start trading, but joining us now, we've got Michael Tannenbaum, the CEO of FIGR. All right, Michael, thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations on the big day for you all. I know it's always quite the road to get to public markets. I've been covering IPOs for a while. 2025 setting up to be the best year since 2021 for public debuts. Was that part of why you decided to bring the company to the public markets this year?
Yeah, well, look, first of all, so happy to be here and just want to congratulate everyone at FIGR. Big day for all of us. The employees work so hard. And absolutely, I think the market is great, and it's a great time for a company like FIGR where we actually, use blockchain to lower costs and add value to the market. We're a profitable, fast-growing company, and really excited to be here.
That is really, I'm glad you brought up the point that you made about the fact that you are all profitable and growing, because that's not always the case when a company is coming to public markets. How are you positioning the company to continue to scale?
Yeah, well, look, today, big day for us, but obviously just one in the big journey. I'd say the way that we work is we've got about 170 partners that work with us to originate assets on the blockchain and into an integrated capital market, and we take a ton of cost and time out of especially the mortgage process. And so for us, those cost savings and those time savings are going to be the tools that we use to continue to grow and add value into the marketplace.
And Michael, I want to back up a little bit for our viewers who may not be so familiar with FIGR. Can you help boil it down to, talk to them a little bit about exactly what you do, what your role is, especially in the world of stablecoin. And, I know you are at the intersection of DeFi meeting TradFi.
That's right. Yeah, so we broadly are building the future of capital markets on blockchain. That's our focus, that's our mission. Specifically what we do is we partner with over 170 different well-known great brands that use our technology to originate assets, so tokenize them. And those are mortgage assets, crypto-backed loans, other loans, and we bring those onto a capital marketplace that's all on blockchain. And in doing so, we take out a lot of cost and time out of the process. So as an example, a mortgage done with us is in about $1,000 versus industry average of $12, and it happens in about 5 days versus industry average of 45. And so this cost and this time efficiency is demonstrating that blockchain can add real value into the people's lives, which I think is really powerful, and that's some of the momentum you see behind the stock.
And then, Michael, what's your message to retail investors? Because retail investors have been a big part of the momentum that we've seen in the market this year, whether we're talking about, the broad records that we're seeing, but there's been an appetite on the retail investor side for IPOs, even though once upon a time you used to say to retail investors, this isn't your lane. What's your message to retail investors now about, why FIGR?
Well, look, for us, we are super excited about retail. In fact, we allocated a huge amount of our IPO to retail because we think that retail, one, appreciates blockchain, two, it appreciates that rare combination of fast growth and profitability, and three, understands the huge market that we're building into. It's a $185 billion market opportunity, and one that should get retail very excited, so we absolutely welcome that enthusiasm.
Michael, I get that too, because I do think retail has a big interest in your industry. But I'm curious, was there any pushback, especially on the bank's side, on that? Because a lot of times, with an IPO, the banks want to save a slice, obviously, for their investor base. Was there any pushback, or was it like, this is our line in the sand?
Well, look, for us, we're a disruptor in the capital markets, right? Our mission is to bring the capital markets on blockchain. With that, of course, comes transparency, that comes some democratization. And so for us, it was very natural that we were going to give such a big allocation to retail. That was always the plan, and we're really excited about that. And to have so many participants in the stock, especially people who can interact with some of our products, whether they be tokenized mortgages, crypto-backed loans, or participating on our DeFi marketplace, Democratized Prime.
And then, okay, I like that you mentioned how consumers can utilize the company. When you think about the efficiency, is that part of the goal here, to increase efficiency for consumers?
Absolutely. I think that there's been a lot of activity in blockchain, a lot of enthusiasm, but one thing that stands out about FIGR is we interact with the real world. We bring loans and other assets on chain, and in doing so, we take out cost and we increase speed and efficiency, and so folks actually can benefit from the use of blockchain technology. In many ways, I kind of make it akin to cloud, right? When cloud and software as a service first started, people didn't necessarily know that they were using that. They just saw the benefits of better software and easier ways to do things. And similarly with blockchain, we just cut out costs, make it simpler, automation, standardization, and ultimately lower costs and increase efficiency for consumers.
And then, Michael, I'm curious to know a little bit about the founding story of FIGR, because one of the things that's different about you all compared to some of the other IPOs that have occurred this year is you're younger as a company, right? Companies now coming to public markets tend to be older, which is different than what we saw, especially if you go back to pre-pandemic. Tell us a little bit more about the founding story of FIGR.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So founder and CEO, founder and chairman Mike Cagney, he and I worked together at SoFi, where I was the chief revenue officer. And at that time, SoFi is one of the largest consumer loan originators out there. And one of the things we saw at the time was how difficult it was when we originated assets and to place those in the capital market as a non-bank and to have liquidity. And so we identified blockchain as this opportunity to improve the process through which loans were sold and traded and put into the capital market. And so that was very much at the core of our history and kind of where we came from. And I think because that was such a big idea and so disruptive, we were able to grow so quickly and so profitably and get here today in a pretty short amount of time.
All right. We will leave our conversation there for today. Congratulations again on your public debut to the public markets. You're welcome. That's Michael Tannenbaum, CEO of FIGR, the ticker FIGR, set to begin trading in a short while.